Hey everybody, and welcome to Old Roommates. Today on the show, we revisit 2 music videos from Alanis Morissette. So, take that black fly out of your Chardonnay and have a seat.
Hey everyone, welcome to Old Roommates, the only podcast that revisits pulp culture through a middle-aged lens. This is Christina.
And this is Brian.
And we are reviewing and revisiting 2 of Alanis Morissette's big hits, the videos.
The videos.
Yeah. So we're doing Ironic and we're doing You Oughta Know.
That's correct.
But before we begin, Brian.
Yeah.
So there's something I need to talk to you about.
Oh my god, what?
Okay.
You never do this!
I don't. But no, I need to tell you this because you know I'm not really a big podcast listener, right? I mean,
that's right.
I listen to ours. I mean, there's a couple.
That's big of
and
you.
it's mostly because I don't have a lot of time. I mean, I'm a teacher. It's not like I can sit at my desk and listen to it. But I don't really listen to a lot of podcasts. And every once in a while, I'll listen to a couple.
Yeah.
But I have to tell you, I found one that I was listening to. So I have this friend, Rich. I mentioned him before during our Mommy Dearest episode. Sorry, my words are escaping me.
Christina, get me the acts like that.
Yes, exactly. Yes, thank you for remembering that. And so he had commented on our episode and all that fun stuff. We've had a couple of exchanges back and forth, but come to find out, he has a podcast as well.
Nice.
And it's called Cut Off Genes. And it's funny. Okay, so it's about genealogy, which I am not like a scientist kind of person.
What?
I know it's very shocking. I am not really into genealogy, although, okay, so my sister researched my father's background because it's like a whole thing. There's a little bit of interest in that aspect of it, of genealogy, but I'm not really that interested in it per se.
Okay.
But anyway, so I had found out that Richard, he goes by Richard now. He's a grown-up. I'm probably going to still refer to him as Rich, sorry. But he and his co-host, her name is Julie Dixon Jackson, they have this podcast called Cut Off Genes, and it's about genealogy. And so I listened to it, and it's really, really interesting. And even though I'm not really interested in the genealogy aspect of it, it's really fun the way that she sort of tells stories of researching, mostly adopted children who are researching their birth families and things like that. One of the episodes, you're going to laugh. So I was looking at the episodes and I'm like, oh, which one do I want to watch? And
listen to.
Yeah, sorry. See, I'm not a podcast listener. But this one was called something like All About Gigi.
Okay.
So I immediately thought, oh, it must be about the Golden Girls.
Was it?
No, it wasn't. Oh. But it was super interesting. And they even talk about a story about some missing, this man who was found on the beach, and they didn't know who he was, and now they're doing his DNA to figure out who it was. Yeah. And what I loved about it was all these stories were really, really interesting. You don't have to be involved in genealogy to be interested.
Yeah.
And it was very, very interesting. And they actually kind of reminded me of us. I feel like they had a ton of chemistry. They were so fun to listen to.
I'm thinking of something really rude to say, just to jeopardize our chemistry right now.
Oh, okay, go on.
No, I'm kidding. I'm thinking of something. I can't think of it. No, you're because we have great chemistry. I was going to be like, what?
Yeah.
What is that supposed to mean?
Anyway, I just wanted to give a shout out to them because it's not often that I listen to podcasts, and this one was really, really fun. So it's Cut Off Genes, and I listen to it on Apple. I'm sure it's everywhere.
I'm sure it's everywhere.
There's a Facebook group, I think,
that's
that you
cool.
can join.
Yeah, genealogy, I feel like it's one of those things that scared, I think it scared me in my younger years, because it's I don't want to know if I have diseases that are in my life, because I wasn't close with my dad's side of the family.
Right.
Still not. I mean, unfortunately, for whatever that's worth.
Sorry.
But it's as I get older, it's would it be good to do an ancestry, whatever it's called, or whatever
it's
all those things.
23andMe, I think.
23, all that stuff. But then I'm like, sometimes you're better off not knowing. But I still think it's really interesting.
Well, you know so much more about it now, I think.
True.
She was actually, one of the things she was talking about was how they're looking at the genes because they're finding that some people were more apt to catch COVID than others. And they're thinking maybe that had something to do with their DNA and things like that. So it was really interesting. And this is coming from someone who's not scientific at all.
I was just thinking, if we just ended the episode right now, would that be ironic? Like, eventually, like, Alanis Morissette videos, and we talk about genealogy, and we just end the episode. We're going to discuss ironic. But first...
Yes, so we can get back to that. Sorry, I was very excited about sharing that with you.
No, that's good. I mean, I think, that's really interesting.
So cut off genes. Very cool.
Should check that. I do listen to a lot of podcasts, but I'll check that out.
Super fun. So back to Alanis Morissette. Brian, why don't you start? So where were you in 1995 when this came out?
So are we starting with ironic or you ought to know?
We didn't really talk about that. What do you want to go with?
I have the ironic first.
All right, let's do ironic first.
Ironic, it's February 27th, 1996. Mm-hmm. This is the third song from Jagged Little Pill. Of course, You Oughta Know was the first one. The second single was Hand in Pocket. Oh my God, my notes. And then it's Ironic. Ironic is the third. The third song, and obviously the third, video. So then, I will speak to Alanis as a pop star, meaning that. I'm not necessarily my feelings about the video necessarily.
Speak what is coming from your heart, Brian.
I liked Alanis. I think at that moment in time, with You Oughta Know, with that whole album, she was just... So her voice was so unique, and I don't think she sounds like anyone else. To the point where I did wonder, how does that happen? I think about people, and I think we've talked about this, as friends off the podcast, where it's there are certain voices that whose success surprises me. Not that I think they're bad singers,
right?
But Alanis falls in that category.
How did she get there?
Stevie Nicks is an example too. But Alanis is just imagine Alanis among a group of friends being "Hey guys, I'm going to be a pop star. I'm going to throw caution to the wind and become this pop star." And they're oh, let's hear it. Let's hear what you got. And and they're just sitting in a circle, and she suddenly is "Would he go on you and a theater?" And it's I don't know. I do her friends just go, "Yes, you got it."
Good job.
It's because it's a unique, her pronunciations. Yes. And so she was weird to me, and yet I love the album. I bought the album. I do think there's something strange where I was she's really pretty, but there's something that she doesn't, she sort of hides her face or does her hair strange. This is this is controversial. I'm getting into a controversial...
No, go on.
Do you know what I mean? I am speaking about 1996 being... How old was I then? 24? I am not judging her looks. I am just saying my take on her looks then was that she's beautiful, but her style, it almost works against her, say, natural beauty. I think that's fair to say. It's my opinion.
Let me tell you something about
Please
that.
Please do.
So I remember, and I also loved her.
Yeah.
We can go into that in a second. But just to speak about the looks.
Yeah.
I had heard that when You Oughta Know came out.
Yeah.
And I know we're talking about ironic right now, but the video was her face was intentionally hidden. And they wanted her to have that mystery. And it was really, really hard to get an actual, real look at what she looked like. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it wasn't, we didn't have really the internet to look on and say, what does she look like? And they did that intentionally.
Let's start with You Oughta Know. Let's just change it.
All right, let's
just do it. Because it's hard, it's a good point, because it's hard to talk about her debut. Well, it's not really a debut. It's her third album at this point. But, this was the big change for her. This is the big pop moment for her.
This is the big one. Yeah, that's a good call. And I actually watched it first, too. I don't know if you watched it.
I did not, actually.
You ought to know. So, so I think that was an intentional marketing thing to make her a little bit more mysterious. But what does she look like?
But Christina, what a bad marketing choice. Right. Because nowadays, in the last I don't know how many years, but like now it's all about your face. It's all about the look. It's all about your body, and it's very in your face. Like, because I think there's so many ways to access music, so many ways to go to shows and see things. I mean, we're in COVID right now, but it's like, but still, we're reemerging, and I think it's like it's a strange choice for any kind of like handling of a pop star to be like, let's obscure your face to give you some mystery. Nowadays, that would not
happen. However,
really quick, I'm sorry. There's a performer. He's a country western. He is a gay country western star called.
I want to say Toby Keith.
No,
he's
not. Oh my God! No, he has like his face is hidden.
I'm not big on country.
Oh my God, what is his name? Carl listens to him all the time. He's really good.
All I'm remembering is like that cartoon. Remember that cartoon where like the face was covered? It was like this big cartoon thing. That's all I'm thinking of.
Wait, I have to. All right.
You look that up. Yeah, you look that up. So my thought is, and I'm going to say something a bit controversial right now, is I think they did it intentionally because I don't know if she was that classic beauty. She did have some interesting features, and I agree. I think that she is attractive now, but I don't think that she was like that cookie cutter, pretty kind of Britney look. Right?
1,000%.
Not clean, I mean...
Oh my God!
You know what I mean? No, you know
Please
what I mean,
send emails to...
Seriously. No, you know what I mean, though. Not like clean cut. Not clean cut.
Everything about her is alternative.
Yes.
Alternative. Even she has black hair. All the pop women of that time were blonde.
Yeah.
I mean, she didn't... I mean, yeah, she wasn't like...
She wasn't that cookie cutter, cute little...
The conventional 90s pop star.
Yeah. Thank you. So I think that they did that probably intentional, either because they were afraid of what sort of reaction people might get, or they wanted to induce that mystery in the fan base.
And I still think it's such a weird choice.
It was a very weird
even for them.
choice. But I remember it now, so maybe it wasn't so far off. But anyway, so I loved Alanis Morissette. I had her Jagged Little Pill CD. I have to say I did not have any of the others. Okay. But although I might have bought the one after. Anyway, but I didn't really listen to it, obviously. But Jagged Little Pill was one of my all-time favorites. Yeah. I wore that CD out. Yeah. I would listen to it constantly.
Yeah, me too.
I loved it. And it was such a little, like, anthem.
You Ought to Know.
Yes, You Ought to Know.
Yeah.
I do have to tell you one more story. I'm so sorry. This is so funny. Emily, my daughter, 13 years old, she's, into sort of that pop music. Yeah. And... I don't know. You must know Olivia Rodrigo. Do you know who that is?
She's young.
You must have heard that.
I know. She's like 3 songs in the top 10.
Yeah, she did the driver's license.
But I've never.
And all that stuff. Okay.
Never heard her song.
Okay.
In my life.
So I'm going to save my opinion on her for this conversation. However, I will tell you, Emily has a lot of her songs, and she plays a lot of her songs. She really likes her. Yeah. The problem I have with her is that a lot of her songs is all about her ex-boyfriend who left her.
This is Olivia.
This is Olivia. Okay. Olivia. Yeah. So I'm listening to it over and over and again. There's an angry song. So I'm listening to it and I'm like trying to explain to Emily. I'm like, I don't mind her. I just wish some of her lyrics were a little bit more empowering, as opposed to I'm still so mad at you for leaving me.
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
And she's like, Mom, you don't understand. This is how she does it. Sometimes teenagers just want to cry. And, she had like her own opinions. And I'm like, you know what, honey? You're right. I'm speaking as a mom. Yeah. But if I'm thinking about it as a teen, let me tell you something about Alanis Morissette. Mm-hmm. Okay? So, and this is one of my all-time parenting wins.
Oh, nice.
I'm being sarcastic.
Oh, okay.
So we're in the car, and I'm like, I want you to listen to a song.
Oh, no, Christina.
So here's the thing. I had it.
This is the kind of music you should be listening to.
Seriously. Yeah. So I wanted her to understand that I understood. Like, I wanted her to realize, I'm like, look, I understand where you're coming from. I had an idol as a child. God. And I remembered I remembered it being bad, but I remembered, like, she said fuck in it. And I couldn't remember exactly the context, but I'm like, you know what? I think she's okay. I think it's okay. Oh my God. So we're driving, and I have her look it up on YouTube. Yeah. And it's a version that has the lyrics.
Oh, awesome. Great.
And I'm like, I'm listening to it, and all of a sudden I was like, oh shit, like this is raunch all the way through. I go down on you in a theater, yeah. And then are you thinking of her when you thinking of me when you fuck her? And yeah. I'm like, oh fuck. So I'm like, okay, so that wasn't exactly how I remembered it, honey, but
oh my God.
It was so damn funny.
What did she say?
She was like, I don't think this is the same. Like, she was wicked embarrassed. She was just like, no, ma. And I'm like, well, can't you understand a little bit? Like, it's kind of like how Olivia is speaking, and I'm like, oh my God, this was such a mom fail to like the nth degree. It was hilarious.
The whole song is so like aggressive and angry and wild and like but that's how Alanis landed.
Yes.
Like, so that's what we knew, and it was like, that's what I mean. It was so different. Her look, her lyrics, her voice, her edge. Like, we were not prepared. We had been conditioned by that point by a lot of just like light pop, and that she made such a mark. And I think like that. I love that song. That song works now. I really like it.
I love that song. I really do. And it had been a while since I listened to it, but it's still. I mean, it's such a good song. And then when you find out who it's supposed to be about,
Dave Coulier, is that right?
Yes, from Full House.
Yeah.
And I told her that too, Emily.
God,
I'm like,
great. Just burn all of her.
Oh my God. It was just like, you know what? I crossed that bridge. Let's just go all in. So, but yeah, no, I really, really loved that.
Well, getting back to the Olivia thing, the connection there.
Yes.
Like, because my thought was, when we were talking about Alanis Morissette, I was like, oh my God, this may be controversial, but she really is like, I don't know if it's necessarily our generation, but she was the generation's Taylor Swift, because every song was connected to some experience, or not, I shouldn't say every song, but a lot of her songs were connected to an experience with a lover or a boyfriend or whatever. And I think that, you know, Taylor Swift is that voice now. Like, when you hear a Taylor Swift song, like, oh, I wonder who that one's about.
Yes.
And like, you're exactly right. Like, this time, you know, to find out it was allegedly about Dave Coulier, but then later years, like more in the because she was with Ryan Reynolds for like 5 years, and she wrote a song called Torch in 2008, 2010. That was about Ryan Reynolds and the, like, you know, not, you know, and she had written songs like Not As We, but those are all later songs. But there was that time where, like, if she had an aggressive song, you're like, oh, who's that one about?
Yeah,
and I think that her lyrics were so raw and like honest that I think that's what connected everyone. I think that's what connected.
And that's what reminded me of. That's why I was reminded of her with Olivia. But the difference, I think, with Alanis was she didn't play the victim.
No.
You know, she was. I feel like she was much more empowered. Like, I don't really want you back, but you should know that you messed me up. Whereas Olivia is similar, but a little bit more like. You get the sense if he wants her back, she's gonna go.
There's even a song she has called Alanis has called Not As We. No, I'm sorry, Hands Clean. Okay. Which is a song from, I think it's also from the 90s, or it's gotta be, I think. So, and that's all about how this older man took advantage of her, and like, you know, like and then he said, "Don't tell anyone about this relationship."
Well, is that from Jagged Little Pill?
No.
Oh, there's one on Jagged Little Pill. Hold on, I'm going to look at
that album is called Under Rug Swept.
Okay.
But that's what I mean. But even in that song, she has the upper hand. Like, you feel that Alanis is in control, even though she was violated. She was really coerced into this very adult situation, and then was discarded. But you don't. There's not that. You don't feel like that sympathy. You feel like she's like that. She has learned, and now she's like ready to talk about it and sing about it in a way that she owns, which I think is like different. And of course, she, you know, you later find. I mean, I think when she kind of came out with this album, like, you're like, oh my gosh, she was on. You Can't Do That on Television, on Nickelodeon.
Right, all of a sudden you find all these.
Like, she's been around. Like, this is her third album. I didn't know that. So it's but the video specifically filmed in the Mojave Desert. You're right. You never really get a good look at her face.
Right.
I just thought this was like, so then I liked it, but this time around, I liked it again. I mean, it's just that pure angst, alt rock. I do things a little too much hair thrashing, where I didn't feel super genuine all the time. But I believed the energy. I believed her frustration. And I like that there was, talk about mystery, you mentioned like you don't see her face, but I thought there's a lot of mystery throughout the video. Like, that suitcase, is that his blue shirt she's putting on? And then the clothes are very, there's that white suit that it's very baggy.
Yeah, like everything is,
and I'm wondering if she sort of just stole a bunch of his clothes and went to the desert for like some peace and quiet, but to like rock out aggressively with his clothes. I don't know. It's very open. It's open.
Very it's kind of like what I liked about it. So first of all, I have to tell you, I had very little recollection of this video. When I put it on, I was like, first I'm like, did I ever see this video? But parts of it came back to me as I was watching it. But I do like the fact that you really can interpret it any way you want. There's so many different ways. Is she just, as the lyrics go on, is she moving forward? Is she moving away?
Yeah.
Is she just, she's changing her clothes with every scene or every verse, really. And it seems to be getting lighter. Like that first scene with her on the bench, she really reminded me of just some sort of lunatic.
We're going to get into that with ironic.
Yes.
It's I have a very similar note. And I wonder, because this is so like mental health, taking care of your mental health. This is, so it's strange to watch that now. And that bench scene you're talking about, I felt the same way. I'm like, this is like a mental health moment.
Yes.
That goes unchecked because it's 1995. So now, you ought to know, is July 7th. Oh my God. Yeah, 1995. But I think it's that same thing.
Yeah, that's the feeling you get. Is just she's crazy, and that's what she's telling. This is the lyrics. Is like, you messed me up.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
But then as it goes on, you get the feeling like she's moving away from that. She's moving into something, and you almost get like that. So I kind of interpreted it as she left that sort of crazy atmosphere, that dark bench. It was very dark.
Yeah.
She moved into kind of the light, right?
Well, there's flowers.
This cleansing. That's the third scene.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So I'm thinking she cleanses herself, right? So she's in all white, and everything is very bright and very, I don't know if it's like sand or whatever. It's very white. Very white. And then she moves, and then it's like that small, the change in the song where it's it's like the lovely part, it's kind of lovely. And then she's in with the flowers, and she's just sort of laying down and looking up at the sky, and she's calm. Mm-hmm. So to me, I felt like that was the story she's talking about. Like, yes, and maybe I'm just thinking about it like I want it to be more positive. Yeah. But I didn't really interpret it as she's putting his clothes on. Yeah. It's more, she's just changing. I said
that because I don't think the clothes fit her. They're intentionally baggy, and because again, we didn't know her, so I don't know if that's her style. I didn't know. She seemed. It's like, you ought to know.
It's kind of a grunge movement anyway, with everybody who was wearing these baggy clothes, right?
Yes. But at the same time, like what we talked about with her wearing black on the bench, like, is that Alanis? Like, is that her persona? Or is her persona this blue flowy shirt in a field of flowers? Like, we don't know. And that's why I think it's such a
But you ought to know, Brian.
I've said this multiple times. I ought to know. I don't know. And so it's open to interpretation. I like the video. I think it's, it just, but yeah, we typically like the stories, right? It's like our generation, like there's in the 80s, it was very like story. Mm-hmm. There's not much of it. This is so up for interpretation, but you see her in a few different outfits. But the suitcase to me was like, she's leaving a bad situation, but then I'm like, oh, that shirt, like she stole his shirt as like the ultimate FU. Yeah. Like I kept thinking, like, is that his like favorite shirt? It's a pretty shiny shirt, to be honest. But like she's rolling around in flowers, like she's happy, but is she happy because she like stole from him? Right. I just don't know. And so it's funny that we got different
Yeah,
takes.
Definitely. And that last scene, she is in the same outfit she's wearing on stage. So during this video, it cuts to her on stage with her band singing the song, which I really, really loved. I actually loved those clips. Although, I don't know. But my point is, she was wearing the same outfit she was wearing in the last scene.
Yes.
So I thought that was interesting. But I will say, like, I liked the video too, but there was so much choppiness to it, and I think this is a middle-aged lens, maybe, where I'm like, I think I'm gonna
just focus.
I can't. Like, it's giving me a headache. It was just a lot of shaky cam. There was a lot of different. I mean, the scenes were like 1 second, 2 seconds.
It's frantic, but the song's frantic,
and I wrote chaos. It's like complete chaos.
It didn't bother me so much. The only really negative I have is, like, you don't see her face, which is a weird choice for something like this moment in time for her, and just a bit too much of the hair thrashing, because it didn't feel incredibly authentic.
Yes.
To, like, when I was watching it, it was like, it's a lot, and I don't know if that's really her or if she's pretending to be a persona. And I do, once again, I'm just going to say, we didn't know her well enough to know what was genuine. So, but I like that we have two different takes on that video.
Yeah, me too.
Really quickly, so some info for Jagged Little Pill. Sold 33 million copies. It won 5 Grammy Awards. It was nominated for 9, I believe. 6 singles from that one CD, which doesn't always happen.
That was I remember just having hit after hit after hit.
You Oughta Know, Hand in Pocket, Ironic, You Learn, Head Over Feet, and All I Really Want. So, yeah, that was quite an album. That album's so good.
Yes. And there was one song on there. I looked at the list, and I couldn't remember which exactly song it was, but there is a song about the person you were talking about, the producer who was not very nice.
On this album?
On Jagged Little Pill, yeah. I don't think it was one of the top 6, but I remember listening to it, and I'm like... And there wasn't a lot up for interpretation with the lyrics on that one.
I'm pretty sure you remember Hands Clean, that song. If play it later. And
no, because I remember learning about it while I was listening to Jagged Little Pill. Okay. So I remember, and I having conversations with my friend Jean back then about it. And being like, wow, this is just like so awful. Like, it was definitely from...
Oh, no, the other song I'm talking about that I'm sure I know you know when you hear it.
I see what you're saying. Okay,
no, I'm not challenging you.
It sounded you were challenging.
Christina, I'm just saying she has 2 songs
I'm just saying it was challenging.
Abused, basically. Let's take a break, and we'll come back with Ironic.
Sounds good.
Hey there, it's Brian and Christina. We just wanted to take this break to thank you for listening to Old Roommates, the only podcast that revisits pop culture through a middle-aged lens. Please subscribe to Old Roommates on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. And give us a rating or review while you're there.
And if you have any questions, comments, or observations, shoot us an email at oldroommatespod@gmail.com. And follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Old Roommates. Thanks for listening, and now, back to the show. And we're back talking about Alanis Morissette videos, 2 in particular. We just discussed You Oughta Know. Now we're talking about Ironic. This was released February 27th, 1996. Christina, what was your...
Sorry.
Oh.
No, off of the same album.
Off of the same album, Jagged Little Pill.
Yeah,
and,
as you just mentioned.
What were your memories of the video for Ironic?
So I remembered this video more than I remembered You Oughta Know, which makes sense. So we should say, when we usually do these videos, we do, well, you usually do all the legwork on the videos, but you look at the most popular videos, all the hits, and there's always one that stands out that's head and shoulders above the rest, and we usually eliminate that one.
Yeah.
And because we want to have more of an even playing field.
Yeah.
And we talked about that with this particular video, because this video, did you write down how many hits this one had? It was a bazillion.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It was head and shoulders her most popular video. And originally we were going to say, forget it, we'll just do You Oughta Know and the next whatever. But after a lengthy conversation, we decided to do Ironic and You Oughta Know, because I think when we listen and think about Alanis, we do think about these two songs. These are the two songs that really stand out. So that was our rationale in choosing Ironic, which normally we wouldn't have.
Because it has so many views.
Because it's the most popular, and it's sort of like, oh, hands down, this is going to win, which, sometimes would be the case.
Oh, yeah, because the vault. That's
because
the
of the
thing.
vault, yes.
Because one will make the vault.
So anyway, with that being said, I do remember this video a little more clear than the You Oughta Know video. And so, are we talking about back then?
Well, yeah. What was your? Do you remember? Like, what did you remember from it back then?
I liked this video back then. I did like this video. I will say, the song. Yeah. I was not a big fan of.
Fascinating.
Yes, it drove me crazy that it was called Ironic, and she said all these examples of being ironic, but most of those examples are not defined as ironic.
I remember having this conversation with you.
Yes, it was a
way back.
It used to piss me off. I'm like, this is not ironic. This sucks for you, but this is not ironic, and it drove me crazy. So I did not.
By the way, you weren't alone in that feeling. Like when you Google ironic, like the song, what pops up are a lot of like think pieces about how these things are not ironic.
It drove me completely crazy. So I did not love the song.
Okay.
I'm glad to hear that other people
You
felt
really
the same
couldn't
way.
get. You really didn't like that song because of that. You didn't find it like a little.
No, it was fine. Like it was fine, but it was not one of my favorites. I would listen to it. It was on a lot.
If the song was called Bummer, would you have liked it more?
Maybe. Isn't that a bummer? Don't you think? Possibly. But yeah, it was just one of those things that just drove me crazy. But I did like it. I liked her other songs better, I will say. Like even just listening to her CD, I liked the other songs better. But anyway, the video. We'll go back to the video because that's what we're talking about. I liked the video.
Yeah.
I liked that you could see her face.
Yeah.
You could actually see what she was like now. I liked the simplicity of it. And I liked, again, like just all like the little aspects of her. Like it just seemed like, oh, there's all these different personalities of her.
Are we talking about now or then?
Then,
okay.
Yeah. that's what I liked about it.
Yeah.
But I didn't watch it all the time.
No.
Anything. But
what
about you?
Same. I thought it was a cute video. I thought it was cute. Yeah. I have to be honest, I thought it was a little bit of a wasted opportunity because it was like, there's so much going on in the song, so many examples, and this is just a car ride with 4 Alanis Morissettes.
Right.
And, but I will say, she's so cute. So cute. Even when she's trying not to be. I think she's super cute in this video. Yeah. And she looks good in every color she's wearing. And but yeah, the video was just like, it was kind of a nothing burger. Because I was like, okay, it's fine. It's not really what I was kind of hoping the video for this song. Could have been more entertaining, but it's fine.
I think I might have been more relieved that it wasn't showing all of the examples.
Sure.
Because number one, I hated that they it wasn't ironic, one thing. But also, I don't love that type of
when
video.
It's see and say.
And I feel like we've had this conversation before. Yes, because I had an example of that country singer that did everything exactly how it's, I forget what it was. I think I was relieved watching it, like, oh good, we're not seeing a rainy wedding day. And we're not seeing,
fair.
Whatever. A clock saying that she's
sure.
But you know what I mean? So I think that might have been part of why I liked it.
Really quick, Orville Peck is the country singer that obscures his face. Orville Peck.
Oh,
he is
there you go. Good.
Current singer, star. He covers his face. But anyway. Okay, so Alanis, so we'll talk about now. I think she's a good driver. We've talked about this in this podcast.
You and the driving. Did she have her seatbelt on?
Nope. None of them. Oh, did she? None of the others. The other 3 didn't.
Well, certainly not the one in the front seat that was trying to climb out
the window.
Which reminded me of Footloose, by the way.
1000%. Very Ariel from Footloose. The middle age, and I just wrote middle age lens all over it. I mean, I would have thrown each of these Alanises out of my car if I was the driving Alanis.
Yes.
Eating? Was she eating crackers or something? Eating
Gross.
Crackers, very messy.
Messy.
And I don't think she was trying to be messy, but crackers are messy.
No, she was just eating.
Hanging out the window, Ariel style.
Well, in her defense, she did try to pull her in. Like she did have
but
a
that
little bit of
required her to take her hand off the wheel.
Yep.
Eating and picking her fingernails.
Oh.
And then just being weird.
Yeah.
And I wondered, so Christina, you said in the then zone that you said all these different aspects of her. I would respectfully disagree through the now lens, because I was wanting that. I was like, this is clearly facets of her, and I hate to say this again, but her mental health.
Yeah.
There's some imbalances going on at different levels. And like that one girl in the red sweater, thrashing back and forth. She just seems like she's having an episode of something. And I kind of was like, I feel like now, in this day and age, with everything we know about mental health, when you see a situation like that, I would be like, sweetie, are you okay? Like, let me pull over. We'll talk about it. And then I wrote the green sweater girl. Oh, it's the green sweater girl. I was like, she just needs to stop. But I did write, everyone looks like they need a bath. I just felt like...
Well, that's the grunge look of the 90s.
I know, but this is my middle-aged lens, Christina.
Agreed.
And I just felt like I enjoyed it less this time around. I appreciated all the colors of the sweaters and the fun. It definitely achieves that fun car ride, for sure. But that was my overall take.
So my thoughts were similar.
Okay.
Similar. I didn't like it as much. Let me be positive first.
Yeah.
I watched it second.
Yeah.
And I will say when I put it on, I was sort of like, oh, okay. I can relax and watch this video. Whereas before, it was so choppy and everything. I was just like, it just gave me a little bit of anxiety. So watching Ironic after was actually a little soothing. And I'm like, this is nice. I can just relax and look at this. And it was bright. It was like just a different feel altogether. Brightly lit, and you could see her face and all that fun stuff. Okay, so that's my positive. I liked it, but in other ways, I think I was a little sad, and it's the same way you're thinking. I'm looking at this now through a middle-aged lens, and I'm looking at it, and again, I'm still thinking it's aspects of her personality.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't think I went like, I don't think they're really leaping like, oh, she has a split personality. I don't think it's really where they're going. Maybe they are. I didn't get that feel of it.
Okay.
Because it was too uplifting, I think, to get that feeling.
Okay.
However, it did make me sad that all of these things were happening. Like the angry girl when she's,
Yeah.
It made me look at her almost like as a mom through a middle-aged lens. And it's the same type of thing. Like, I would be like, are you okay?
Yeah, you okay?
And the girl climbing out of the car.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, there's something wrong here.
Yeah.
Get in here and put your seatbelt on.
Yeah.
And so that part of it made me a little sad to watch. Thinking about it as like the artist trying to portray this about herself. It made me sad. Like, this is how she's trying to show the world who she is. So again, I'm reading way more into it than
I think, because here's the thing. I Googled meaning of Ironic music video. I found nothing. And I agree with you. I think, excuse me. I think, because I think they're almost, that's really interesting about her trying to break out of a feeling or a persona. And because I do think she's trying to say something with this, because Christina, like, what happens at the end of this video, the car is empty except the driver. The other thing that happens is, and this is like, is this ironic or just a bummer? But like, she starts at a gas station, she runs out of gas at the end. So I'm like, what is this really trying to say? Because there's too much going on for it to not have meaning. Right. And that's what I was stuck on. I'm like, I don't know what this is really saying. Alanis, if you hear us.
Yes.
oldroommatespod@gmail.com.
Well, and I wonder how much say she had in it too. Maybe it was just the director's point of view. Maybe it was just like, oh, this is what we're going to do with the video.
Oh, I think she had some say.
Do you know what I mean?
I
feel like she must have too, but who knows?
This is her third, and after that massive hit with You Oughta Know, the album's a huge success. Like, she had to have some say, and I just don't know what she's trying to say. But I didn't hate the video, but I think it made me a little, like you're saying, made me a little uncomfortable if she was grappling with some things, and it's never overtly expressed. And because I think the three girls are too similar. That's my problem. Like, they're all kind of going crazy in some way. Yeah. And the song isn't about going crazy. It's just It's odd. Some odd choices were made.
It is a little odd.
But let's see.
Do you have any other notes on it?
So Ironic was a huge hit. It was in the top 30 in 15 different countries. What else do I have here? Not much. So yeah, this song came out after Hand in Pocket and before the song You Learn.
Yeah, I have to laugh. Like, one of my notes is, and it just tells you, like, I was concerned, is she having a seizure?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
I was like, it seemed like maybe she was having a seizure.
The good thing about these video episodes, the music video episodes we do, is that, like, you can pause it right now, watch the video, and come right back. It's like 4 minutes long, and you can see what we're talking about. It just lands differently in today's day and age.
It does. And I did say that it was interesting. Yep. And it did keep me interested.
1,000%. It's not a bad video. I just don't know what it means, and it raised more concern than joy. That's all.
Yes. You shut it off feeling concerned for Alanis.
Because I feel like I ought to know what's going on.
You ought to know.
Yeah, thank you.
Is that ironic?
Is it time? Is it time to vote?
Yes.
All right, so whichever video we pick will join an illustrious group of videos, including Love is a Battlefield, Hello.
Yes.
Lionel Richie, Hello.
Lionel Richie's Hello.
What else?
I have some written down. Hold on, because I wanted to. So, Weird Al,
Eat It, yep.
Cyndi Lauper's Girls Just Want to Have Fun. A whole lot.
It's joining some true classics.
Head Over Heels.
So this is a tough one. This is a tougher one than I imagined.
This is a tougher one for me too.
Yeah.
I thought I had it, and then I was like,
choices?
wait, no, maybe I don't.
All
so,
right.
and this is, I mean, you think about the other one's never going to be seen again.
That's right, because we have the rights and we're destroying all copies of the one we don't pick. So, sorry to tell everybody that.
Yeah.
This is the power our podcast has.
Right, absolutely. So, I mean, has anyone been able to see any of the ones that have been burnt since listening to our podcast? I don't think so.
God. Which reminds me, we should really do just a drunk episode someday.
What do you mean, some...
Oh my God. Christina, let me know when you're ready, because I am ready.
Oh my gosh.
Which video will join the Old Roommates music video vault? Will it be You Oughta Know or Ironic? And Alanis Morissette, so good. And she's still cranking out albums and just really thoughtful stuff. I love her song. It's called Everything. And I didn't write down any of these years or any of the albums, but I do own a few of her other albums. And she's so good. I actually like her ballad, some of her ballads too. She has a really interesting voice.
When you listen to even Jagged Little Pill has so much variety to it, and I know she's done a lot since, but I will always go. It's actually inspiring me to revisit
the whole album. Yeah. All right, here we go. We're going to show our cards from across the room.
Okay, you ready?
Ready, go.
Yay! Good.
Oh my God, do you know what I wrote? I wrote, You Oughta to Know. I just can't not.
Well, I couldn't figure out how to spell oughta. I've written it just right now. My brain is not working.
So we both said you oughta know.
Yeah, because honestly, I feel like it is just Alanis to a T. When you think about Alanis Morissette, that's what you think about.
That image,
and which is ironic because Ironic is the most viewed.
Well, it's also ironic because you don't see Alanis in her full face.
That's right. Really. It is ironic.
So it's so weird that this is the one that is pure Alanis when we don't really know.
No, we don't. We ought to know, but we don't. It's so ironic.
Good stuff. And that is it for us and for this episode of Old Roommates. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe to Old Roommates on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and wherever you listen to podcasts. And give us a rating or review while you're there, please.
If you have an idea for the show or a suggestion or comment, you can email us at oldroommatespod@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Old Roommates. This is Christina.
And this is Brian.
Thanks again for listening. Until next time.